Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome into the Funshop podcast with Greg and Ronnie. We are streaming to you live from Los Angeles, California. What's up, Greg? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Wait, no, I'm not supposed to say that.
Yeah. Let's do it over. Should we do the intro over?
No. I know I've had a good day. It started off a bit rough. I was very angry and emotional. That's why I'm wearing my Snuffleupagus hat. I had
Okay, Bert.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get right into it like this. I mean, I'm not going to get too into it, but this guy that I bought some stuff at the flea market, I found some stuff. He said he had more. I went and bought it. He said he had more, and I messaged him today because I hadn't heard from him.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, when do you want to meet up? Do you want to meet up in Long Beach? And he's like, oh, I sold it.
Oh,
And I was like, what do you mean you sold it? I mean, and then, it was this whole thing. And he
talks, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it could have been much more. So it just pissed me off because that to me is the ultimate no. So I had to call a couple of my friends and they kind of calm me down. And they also are like, don't give those type of people your attention.
Yeah, he ain't your friend.
I was like, I'm going to see you at Long Beach and yell at you. And he's like, the worst part is because this guy is okay. So his name is Bert. I'm just going to call Bert Cobain.
Bert Cobain.
Bert Cobain. And he's a scumbag and doesn't honor his deals. But no, I was like, I'm going to see you at Long Beach. But then I was like, you know what? So when I was saying this, he replied to me with the emoji of the smiley face with the shades.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh, you must.
Smells like mean spirit.
So I just basically was like, you know what? The ultimate payback is I'm just not going to buy anything from him again.
Yeah.
I mean, he says he's not going to sell anything to me again, but you know what? No.
Money talks.
I'm
not buying anything.
I'm not fired. I quit.
I boycott you.
Yeah. So
it's the Bert boycott 2026.
Yeah, Bert boycott Bert Cobain. And then I yelled at a guy at Heritage because he's had my photos for over a year. He wouldn't get back to me. So I finally sent an email with I CC'd everybody at Heritage that I knew. So then he called me. And then he said he didn't like my tone.
Yeah.
And I said, of course you don't, because you've had my stuff for over a year, and every time I email you or try to call you, you don't get back to me. And now you're calling me. So then he hung up on me. So then I called the Beverly Hills office, and I talked to somebody there, this guy Jeremy that works in the pop culture, and he's supposedly helping me out.
This is all today?
This is all today.
Jesus. Busy guy.
Then and then it's podcast day, and then 3:00, Dan the man,
the
toast
is late.
You weren't really late. No.
There's a window. Yeah. There's a window.
Okay.
There's an acceptable window.
Yeah, we finally have a guest again, which is good because I'm sure everyone's just, it was like depression and then super stoned. And now we can talk about toys again.
You were, man, I wish I was here for the super stoned.
I was pretty stoned last week.
Oh, okay.
I'm completely sober.
Edibles last week.
I'm completely sober right now.
Yeah.
So
I actually switched it up. I got some non-infused stuff. It's more just straight backyard boogie stuff. So I'm like,
I've heard there's
good.
I heard I think I heard that Willie Nelson has this alcohol.
Yeah, but it's not alcohol.
Right,
Yeah,
but
it's not alcohol. It's
I don't know anything about it.
It's made from weed.
Is it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be distilled from weed. It's it'll get you on that level, level, but it's not alcohol.
And then real quick before we start getting into it, I guess last week was a fifth Sunday. There was no Long Beach, but I did, man, sometimes dealers could be sneaky. I got to it's tricks I'm learning. So there's one dealer I deal with. He's like, "Hey, Greg," calls me on Saturday, and he's like, "Hey, I'm setting up in Lancaster." And I have no, I don't know any, I lived here 10 years. I still don't know where anything is.
Yeah. Lancaster's out there.
Yeah. So it's past Palmdale.
Right.
And supposedly, I guess back in the day, I don't know if Dan ever went out there, but I guess back in the day, it was kind of like a really good antique market.
Okay. We used to go to rave outdoors in the 90s.
Yeah. It's kind of at it's like the fairgrounds.
Okay.
So I think now they have it not very often.
Okay.
So, but once it was I was like, oh man, fifth Sunday, I've just been so busy burning the candle at both ends. I've been getting ready for these auctions. I'm like, I'm not going to go. And then when he told me, it was just you know, like it was like stuck in my head. I'm like, what if there's something like super incredible and I'm gonna miss
Super
it?
incredible.
So
What you got?
I ended up buying a baseball card collection that I didn't need.
What? Baseball?
I mean, it was. Look, I could tell it was unpicked, and I thought there might be something. It was okay. It was like a '90s junk wax, but it did have a few things. So, and then I got a couple vanity license plates that said "Sir."
Oh, sir, called me sir.
Well, it's funny because when I bought them, I was like, "Thank you, sir," and I was like, I wasn't saying that just because the license plates.
You call me sir, I'll show you a sir.
Yeah, I like, but a "Sir" is a good license plate because it's like. It's either like, you know, like Sir Paul, or it's like, yes, sir, or it's like, sir. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the third one is, but
yeah, it's a unique one, right?
And I know you raved all weekend.
I raved 23 hours straight on Saturday, and I slept 19 hours after that. Yeah, so I'm good.
They're collecting sleep. That's something.
Hey, you know, you got to do something with your time.
All right. Well, we have our special guest today, Dan Goodsell. Good. How do you say your last name?
Goodsell.
Goodsell. I've seen this book. He actually wrote Crazy Kids Food. It's all vintage food packaging with his friend Steve Roden. And I mean, this is like I'm a little starstruck, Dan. This is a pretty famous book, and it's really cool. It has you know, it has all the packaging, mostly from like the 60s and 70s.
Tony the Tiger.
Things
Felix.
that you've never seen before, like Jetsons candy boxes. But it even gets more obscure. Let's see. What's the most, I don't know. What do you think the most obscure thing is in here?
Gosh, I have no idea.
Oh, this was Ronnie's favorite candy.
Ratsa Rock.
And Happy Canoes.
No comment.
No comment. But no, it's a really cool
love
book.
it.
Actually, I really like
it.
this, the superhero boxes. These were like little candy boxes, so those are cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so welcome to the Fun Shop.
Thank you. I have one thing to say about your fight with this Bert guy.
Okay.
Apologize to him.
Yeah.
The best revenge is buying all of his good shit and then making money on it.
Right.
That's one thing I learned a long time ago.
Interesting perspective.
Don't take. I mean, you could treat people that are buying from you like shit.
Right.
I'm 100% for that. I'm like, you know, you want to disrespect me, you might both get the fuck out.
Right.
Because there's always more money out there, but there's not always more good stuff out there.
Right.
So, you know, you say, man, I was so sorry. You know, I just had a bad day. You know, I always make up bad days. I'm like, oh, I had a bad day, blah, 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 blah. And people don't know how to deal with that because people don't apologize. So you apologize to this guy, and then you're like, oh, you know, and he will come up with more good stuff for you.
That's
and
true.
Every time you buy something from him, you know that you're sticking the knife in his back.
Right. I like that.
And
it's not a bad idea.
And it puts you in control of the situation.
Right.
He's not in control of the situation anymore.
Well,
you are.
No, that's what I said, and that's what I realized. I realized like he's the type of person that's feeding off like he wants me to be upset.
Yeah.
You know, because one part of the story that I missed was, so the first batch of stuff I bought, he then messaged me and he's like, I have more stuff. And he came downstairs and he brought it. And when the first thing he said to me, he's like, you got one over on me last time. And I said, huh? And he's like, oh, there were some photos in there that weren't supposed to be in there, and I know you got them. And I said, what photos? And he's like, it's okay, don't worry about it. And I was like, no, tell me what the photos are, and I'll give them back to you. So that the other thing too is you could already tell he was like trying to manipulate the situation. But you know, I think ultimately you're right. I think it's like that's the last thing that someone's going to expect. You know,
and there's always that story of like, you know, with the person that like borrows money from you, right? You know, they borrow $10 from you and then they run away from you every time. Right. And that's you controlling the situation, right? As long as you're always in control, or at least feel like you're in control, you know, this guy he's not going to, people don't understand hot and cold. You know, everybody goes like this one direction.
Right.
And so when you switch it up on them, they're just like, whoa, what's happening? I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And you get in their head.
Yeah.
That's my
no.
thought.
That's actually I appreciate that. That's some good advice.
And that was always the thing back in the day when I dealt with people. There was this one guy, Scott Bruce, who was like kind of the king of the cereal boxes.
Okay.
And a lot of the other people didn't deal with him because he was a fucking asshole. He was a terrible asshole, total jerk. But if you had what he wanted, you could completely control the situation. And I was like the one guy who would always be doing deals with him, and nobody else would be. And so, he and I had a relationship, and when he ended up selling his whole collection, he called me.
Right.
And I, because everyone else had sort of burned the bridge with him, and I still had a positive relationship with him.
Yeah.
And people that find stuff continue to find stuff forever.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And so that's sort of how I've sort of run my business.
Yeah.
Is it's like let it go.
So I shouldn't go and like turn over his table like the Incredible Hulk.
Fuck you! You're going down, motherfucker.
Yeah, then I'll just get kicked out of I'll like be banned from like Long Beach.
Wait, when did the Incredible Hulk ever flip a table over and say "fuck you"?
I think it was in the Mexican version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's like, and it makes it so that
La masa.
You don't have to walk past his booth and be like, oh, and have vibes in you.
Right.
You walk right over to him and he's like, man, I'm sorry. And then you can shop there and you
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that you sold the stuff that you already promised me to somebody else, but have a nice day.
Yeah.
You got to be the bigger man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's a lot. I mean, I'm a big guy, but he's bigger than me.
Ew.
Because in the end, we want the stuff.
Yeah,
the stuff is
true.
what's fun.
That's
It's
true.
like,
Yeah.
And it's business.
It's all business.
It's all business, man.
That's what Greg wants.
What?
All the stuff and the business.
Well,
having walked around your offices,
I have all the stuff.
I think you've run out of stuff, man. I think you need to pack a few more things in here.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of ceiling space. You need to start putting the
well, I've talked about it before. I got into collecting because of my older brother. And, when I used to go to his apartment as a kid, because he's 20 years older than me, his whole house was like it's like you could never see any white on the wall. And so I think as a kid that I just thought that was normal.
Sure.
Like I was like, oh, that's what people do. And then obviously as I got older and you go into a house and you're like, how is there not one thing hanging on a wall? You know what I mean? You're just like, this something doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
It is weird when you go in somebody's house and you're like, there's no content in here. There's nothing interesting. There's no, there's nothing I want to take home with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's a weird way to live.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's
like a lot of Asian houses you used to grow up.
Really?
Yeah, just, where everything's very strategic, or you have a few scrolls here and there, but most of it's just boring.
Did like Asian culture too, did they put, because like in like Spanish culture, like Puerto Rican culture, like every house I'd go over like as a kid, like they always had those like clear plastic on the couches.
On the nice couches, on the nice cushions for like on the like antique wooden furniture, the cushions would have
maybe that's
the
just
plastic.
like a generational thing, right? Kind of or did you have that? Did you know anyone that had plastic?
I knew people that did, and it's interesting. There's a show called it's the New York show with John Wilson or whatever it's called on HBO.
Okay.
And he did a whole bit where he went and had a piece of furniture done that.
Oh,
How to with John Wilson. And one of
the
the episodes, he went to the guy and they still do it, and because he went to somebody's house and they had it, and he had it instead of his chair.
Oh, that's cool.
I saw that.
And so it is still, at least for there's still some people out there that do it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's usually the more traditional like immigrant families.
You'd actually be one of the few people that appreciate this couch, because this is actually a Naga hide couch.
Oh, okay,
like a real deal Naga hide.
Hey,
so I think I do have a little Naga hide doll somewhere, but I think he's hiding underneath.
The Naga somewhere back here.
Yeah,
that just means it's fire retardant, right?
I don't know what it is.
Is Naga hide fire retardant?
No, it was just like a pleather that they made in the 60s, I guess.
I'm thinking of another thing.
Yeah, and they basically said it came from this animal.
It's a little creature. It's
little creature. Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, there was a donut store and there was an upholstery shop right next to it. And they had the chairs, and the little Naga monsters would sit in those chairs. And so when I started collecting, I was like, oh my God, those were the little guys that sat in those chairs.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. There was actually a matching one, like a little bit bigger one, but I couldn't at the time. Like I couldn't. It was like I paid nothing, but I just didn't have the space for it. Sure. So I was like, well, I'll take the little one. And that was like one of the only pieces of furniture we brought with us, because, like most people, or I guess like a lot of people, we had mostly IKEA stuff.
Sure.
And then was like, well, there's no point to travel with IKEA stuff. So it's just like a couple of Ames chairs, the Naga hide couch, and, the rest was all like just toys and junk. So
toys and junk.
So how long have you been collecting now?
I was a comic collector as a kid, and then I got into the toy collecting in like sort of 88, 89. And there was a magazine that used to come out called Toy Shop.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Toy Shop was like, that was basically the beginning of the internet for collectors, you know. So it would come out every month, and then it was coming out every week, I think. And that was the sort of conduit where everybody sort of talked to each other, and you would meet people from other, you know, you buy stuff from people in New York and whatnot like that. And then when eBay started, then we all just migrated right there in Toy Shop.
Yeah, it's interesting because I got in like, you know, I got into like collecting in around I collected this as a kid, but like in 1998 was when I worked for like a pop culture store, and I remember him telling me, because when I was in college, I went to school at UCF and in Orlando, and I was driving and I see this. I had just decided, you know, we were talking about collectible books earlier, and so like, I'm sure you may have done this, but when I was younger, my brother and I, like, if we're like waiting for a movie or going to dinner, we'd always go into Barnes and Noble and like hang out in the antique and collectible section.
Sure, of course.
So as a kid, I would like go through and I'm like, oh man, like everyone's collected every Smurf, everyone's collected every Lunchbox, everyone's collected every, you know, I was like, I want to be one of those guys. Like I want to be the guy that collects everything of one thing. And so at first I was like, oh, I'm going to collect Pez. And then of course, like I remember going to a toy convention in Florida, and the guy had like a couple like Universal Monster Pez, like Frankenstein.
The Mike Hers one, that big show.
This was I guess, I mean, if it was in the late 90s.
Whiz Bang, maybe?
Whiz Bang or something like that, yeah. And I remember looking at a Pez, and this guy was like, oh, do you like Pez? I'm like, yeah, you know. And he's like, oh, you know, we started talking, and he's like, yeah, I'm a professor at UCF. He's like, oh, come to my like office. And then he's like, oh, I want to show you this new website that like this guy created for like his wife to sell Pez. And it was like eBay. And I didn't even, and so, you know, around that time, you know, Pez just, the prices exploded. So I was like, well, I guess I'm not collecting Pez. And then it turned into Mr. T. And then that's a whole other story. But,
Ronnie has a question.
How many different flavors of basic Pez are there?
Well, grape. I think like there's like grape, strawberry, lemon, maybe
orange,
sure. And then I remember cherry. They probably have them all here now, but for a while, like you could only get cherry overseas. Like Canada had it, and then they had other weird, like I think they had like a coffee flavor overseas.
Probably. I mean, that one of the things about Pez is no one cares about the candy.
Right.
They only care about the dispensers.
I'm going to be that guy.
And the thing about Pez and why it makes so much sense how it became the thing is because you can just line them all up and they're all exactly the same. And a lot of other collectibles have suffered because there's too much variation in them. And that's why Funko and the Pops make perfect sense again. They're all that. I mean, they make big ones now, but they're a uniform size, and people can have them on their desk at the at their
it's interesting
and shit.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that too, because I feel like they also took, which was the other great thing about Pez, is licensing. Yeah. So you could literally put, you know, which is like I mean, I'm not a Funko Pop fan, but the one thing I would say was that because they were literally licensing every property, at some point somebody was going to be like, well, I don't collect Funko, but they just made like a Chuck Norris one, so I need, or whatever, you know, whatever it is. And so, but now it's like all landfill already.
and that's the thing. It's like, I think Funko was or is like the number 2 or number 3 toy company in the world, I think.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they've tried many things to get traction in other parts of the world, and they can't get any traction because all they truly are is a licensing business.
Sure.
And the world is, I don't know. It's hard to have a second act of a thing in the world we live in now. I mean, but you know, all us guys try and figure that out.
Right.
All us people.
Right. But anyway, sorry, it was kind of a convoluted way to say that when I decided to collect Mr. T, I saw this sandwich board outside with a Mr. T drawing on it. I went inside and there was like all this Mr. T stuff. And it was my friend Brian who was actually selling his Mr. T collection. And then he explained to me that he had bought it all through like Toy Shop over the years.
Sure.
And so I kind of caught, but by the time I was into it, it was like, I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, it's like a whole page is an auction or something. And it was very...
There would be sales lists, there would be auctions, and
yeah.
the amount of illegal manipulation that would occur in those auctions...
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh my God, it was the Wild West back then. You know,
Yeah.
eBay. Even at the beginning of eBay, you could do all kinds. You could play all sorts of games,
Oh,
but they have limited, hidden everybody's names, hidden the bidders. You know, and made it so you can't. You know, and that's why most of us just do buy it nows and we don't do auctions anymore.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because we were talking at lunch about whatnot and stuff. I've been recently doing more auctions only because I feel like, you know, in a lot of ways, even though that was the Wild West, that was when eBay was the most fun, in my opinion. It wasn't fun if you lost something, but it was fun if you won something for nothing. And it's also like, it would also be fun if you, oh, I'm just going to throw this up. And then you're like, oh my God, it sold for hundreds of dollars. I didn't even know, you know? Right. And so, you know, with the buy it now, I think, well, my point being is I think because whatnot is auction based, and that's what the kids are getting used to now.
You have to drive the immediacy.
Yeah.
And when eBay was about immediacy, yes, but then they worked very hard to make eBay into a store.
Right.
They literally brought in manufacturers and brands and really made people think of it that way, where you go to eBay, you can just buy the thing.
Right. Yeah.
And it stopped being about collectibles that way. And then we got to a certain point where there was you know, the prices were kind of set, you know, and whatnot is trying to find things and make things happen that aren't just set, you know, because I just saw like that stuff with like the Nido stuff.
Is that what
Nido? What Nido is they come in boxes and it's just like a squishy ball.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you have like the weird colors, they can be hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, that's so wild.
And so it's, you know, it's just like when Cabbage Patch dolls went crazy, all those sort of weird crazed things, Nido is like kind of one of the new crazed things, and whatnot, you know, puts people into that mindset. And so if that can shift over into what you're selling,
right?
I can't believe he's talking about that. I saw him like I guess a meme of that where some like older brother gave his sister like a special colored sparkly one. And I didn't even think about what the heck they were until like he mentioned it. I was like, oh my gosh.
The only thing I saw recently was like I'm in all these different like I'm in Facebook groups, but then some pop up, and there was like one reseller group and somebody saying how they bought 1,000 of these Nidos, but 7 of the boxes were messed up and they were all mad. And I'm like, that seems like pretty good ratio. Like and everybody, those are the funniest posts to me is when somebody will make a post complaining on Facebook and then everybody in the group is like, yeah, you're the problem, not the person. It's like I think that's a pretty good, you know, ratio. Like 7 of 1,000, you know, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
they just weren't there, or they were open.
No, they were just tampered. Like the boxes were dented a little bit.
Probably like the Four Corners ones, you know, or bang, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm reminded of like Garbage Pail Kids. When I was in like art school, I went to like the liquor, you know, I heard about Garbage Pail Kids and how the teachers were like banning them because the kids were having fun with them.
Right.
So I go in there, I was like, what the fuck is this? I go in there, I buy a pack of Garbage Pail Kids, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, these are kind of interesting. And that's one of the points at which I started to get back in deeper into collecting. And, you know, like an idiot, I didn't think, well, you know, why don't you go buy all these Garbage Pail Kids? You know, why didn't I buy a couple of boxes and put them away? Because I think I bought them like second series.
Yeah.
You know, but like a fool, you're always like, I'm obsessed with the stupid shit I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
And it's hard to look at the landscape of the world right now and go, this is what I should be taking and putting in a box. Because a lot of people are putting things, you know, but, you know, putting Nido in a box now would be the stupidest thing you could do.
Sure.
But there's other, you know, seems like there's going to always be other things that are the right things.
Well, I almost think you have to look, or you have to just create your own thing.
Yeah.
You know, or you create your own like future collectible because, you know, as we know, the reason why like even this, you know, why a candy box, like you were telling me, like a superhero, you know, around $300 because, you know, and those are from the 60s probably or early 70s.
Yeah, 60s.
So
for sure,
it's
60s.
like, it's kind of like, Well, nobody was even thinking about keeping those, and that's the reason they're collectible. They're not collectible because there's a sticker on it that says 1 of 10,000 limited edition, right? It's like, it's the fact that it wasn't supposed to be collectible, it wasn't supposed to be saved, and most of the time it was thrown away.
And a lot of the big collections came from people that worked in the industry. Also, some interesting collections came out of these people that were called refunders. And what refunders were is people that would save proof of purchases and then send them in to get, 25 cents or 50 cents. And at one point I found a lady that had an entire trailer full of packages. And so I was like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. And she sent me a box that was probably 24 by 24 by 24 one time. That was just full of old shit.
Yeah, like Marlboro Miles.
But it was more than just it was more than just the UPCs. It was other stuff
They
too.
saved the whole boxes because you would never know. They might say, send us the box tops, send us the box bottoms, send us the UPC, send us the this, send us the that. And so, for a little while there were still people out there, because you never know why stuff is going to get saved.
Yeah.
But and so I'd found that they had a magazine and I ran an ad in there and I found 2 ladies that sent me stuff. And, both of those ladies sent me gold.
That's amazing.
And you would just, you'd just be like, I'm going to just send you $500.
Right.
And what the value of it was, I couldn't even imagine.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess, I know people that still do that, like put ads in little newspapers and stuff and still find stuff. I just never, I don't know. I never really thought to do it, but
we all exist under our own level of motivation.
Yeah.
And like for the main years I was dealing, we would only do PCC, Long Beach, and Rose Bowl. That's it. We do toy shows too, but I would essentially do all my buying that way or through Toy Shop in the mail. I never went to. I went to my first estate sale this last year.
Oh,
the first estate sale I've ever been to. I never went garage sailing. I never did anything like it. I have never shopped a thrift store.
Are you and you're from SoCal originally, or you've lived here most of your life?
I grew up in Orange County, and then I moved here as I've mostly have been my life on the East Coast, except for I guess Florida is kind of the East, but not really. Florida has decent flea markets, but California, the stuff that comes out of here even now, it's still incredible, and I sometimes have to remember how incredible it is, the stuff that we find out here. Even now, of course, you hear about the glory days and, and stuff like that, but there's still, the odds of finding stuff here is a lot. I think it's, I don't know. I think there's, I have my buddy Nathan has been doing closeouts like up north and like Pennsylvania and stuff. And it's like mostly like hoarder attics and stuff, where here it's just like seems to be more like either like storage units or, I guess houses that, when I first moved there, I started doing estate sales because we didn't really have that in New York. I guess we did, but it wasn't as prevalent. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of estate sales, especially after I realized that most, I don't want to say all of them, but a lot of the people, like when I started getting calls to pre-buy at estate sales, I was like, okay, there's no point to go to an estate sale, really. And that's the thing. You figure out what are your rhythms that make sense, where you can find the stuff that you need to find. It was funny. Me and Mike, Mike, we go to Topanga, Pierce College every, at the fourth Sunday.
Sure.
And we were walking around, and here's this lady that has a bunch of things of matchbooks, and then she has a big collection of matchbooks in a book. And this other guy picks it up right before Mike. And Mike sees like this one bar called Skull and Crossbones or something. And he's like, oh, I want that one. And then we wait. And the guy's just like looking at it. And he's talking to the lady. We do a circuit. We come back looking at it, talking to the lady. And we finally give up. We're like, get the fuck out. Later on that day, where is it? Facebook Marketplace.
Wow.
So that same thing, we could have, you could just, that person was not even keeping it, didn't pull anything out of that, just put it right up.
Yeah.
For sale.
And did Mike buy it, or was it some like ridiculous price?
I think it was a make an offer or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And looking through it, it wasn't great.
He just wanted that one.
He wanted that one. And so it is weird when you think about the closed loop that we sort of live in sometimes, where how the hell can something be bought out there and then I can actually see it for sale there?
I wanted to show you something because I had made a comment. I think I taught, the banana. I found this when I was cleaning. So this is me. I don't know. I guess we could put.
Where's the cameras? I don't know where these cameras are.
Yeah. So here.
I'll give. Give it to
this was the banana that I had passed up on at Torrance, and this is me as a kid with a giant banana. So.
Well, the funny thing is this
I wanted to show you this.
This had a $15 price tag on it.
Yeah.
But it was on the $5 table.
Oh, so it's $5. Yeah.
This is you?
That's me. Yeah, that's me as a kid. So when I first saw it, I was like, I kind of feel like I need to buy that. And then I was like, it was funny because I don't know if you heard last week because I was talking about it and I was saying how it's like one of those things where the problem is like all I would have did is take that and throw it in my pile. And then it's like, and it looks good. But then it's just like I'm trying to sort of like get rid of stuff, so it's like I'm not trying to, so it was like funny because I was like joke with you like, I was like, oh, like I left you that, but it's more like it's actually kind of I love when people that I know find things because I feel like I can't have everything, but I'm glad somebody else can like appreciate it.
Yeah, you realize that we're all on whatever journey we're on.
Right.
And we're going to end up with a bunch of stuff and we're going to be bummed that we'd miss some stuff.
Yeah.
But none of us is going to end up with everything cool.
No.
And that's a hard thing for a collector to learn is that you're not going to get to have everything that's cool.
No.
It's rough.
Yeah, you have to like I say yin and yang, right? Like I say one day I'm going to find it, the next day you're going to find it. And so, we try not to get jealous, especially of our friends, but it's sometimes
hard.
It's a little hard,
It's really hard,
especially if you find something like really really cool. But, next month is my month, right?
Yeah.
So I just look at it like that and try not to get too, and I think the one thing about going to estate sales though which is very strange, even with this guy, Bert Cobain, the stuff that I bought, he actually invited me. So he does like clean outs, right?
Sure.
So I actually went to the house where he was cleaning the stuff out, and I went inside and it was all a mess, and he was explaining to me like, oh, well, this is how the family left it because they were just in here like looking for like gold or money or whatever, and but he was like letting me like look around the room, and I remember opening up a drawer and there was like ladies' underwear. Ooh. And
Ronnie's like,
Ronnie got to tell me more. What did it say?
Sorry, am I still mic'd up?
But more so, it's the fact that like not tomorrow, but like God forbid, like something happened to me, like in a month, somebody could be looking through my like underwear drawer.
Well,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Or my draw's full of like crap, and then it's like, well, what does it mean that I had it? Really?
Yes. It's all going to be gone at some point unless they pour it into the, hole behind you.
Right. Do you know that actor? His name is Nelson De La Rosa.
No.
He's like at one point he was like the smallest man in the world. He was in this movie called like Rat Man, and he played the Rat Man.
The plane. Is that him?
No, that's Hervé Villachez.
Okay.
Is he that weird looking sort of Indian guy?
No, he's like, he was a Spanish guy. I think he might have been like Dominican or something. But when I don't remember, but I was like looking him up, and when he was buried, they buried him with like Ninja Turtle figures.
Oh.
And I was like, those must be.
Man, he ain't gonna be the last.
I was like, Grail.
Yeah. Dude, I know a lot of these toy nerds, I'm sure, are gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
They're gonna have their own plexiglass cases in their coffin. And
they're gonna have like whole fucking crypts.
Yeah.
With the stuff, all like.
That would be pretty. Hey, if you're gonna go and you have the money, make a crypt that's like all glass with like all your stuff on it. Actually, the place that it's kind of sad, but the place that Frank Kozik when they put his remains is it's this place in San Francisco, but it's this very like Like it's actually really cool. Like there's you get these like little kind of like.
So there's a little cubicle where
cubicles,
there's some sort of stuff in,
and there's little stuff and stuff. So like in one case, like one guy was like, he had his like old Masonic Bible and like some other little trinkets. I don't know what Frank's had, but
like people can leave stuff.
No, like you can the family could like you can decorate your little space.
Yeah.
So nice. And some have been there for like 100 years. So there's like interesting shit.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I think at Forest Lawn there's similar things for.
Oh, is there?
There's a couple of buildings I think that have similar things like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. My buddy Simeon, he's and people said it before, but he said once to me, it's like we're just caretakers, for a short amount of time.
Oh, you mean the trading card guy?
Yeah, Simeon?
Yeah, of course. Sure.
Yeah, that's so Simeon's a good friend of mine, and him and I started Gas together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because he did whatchamacallit. He did
Art Hustle.
Yeah.
Are you in the Art Hustle?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Let's see. I'd love to show off some Art Hustle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that was in the second series.
Oh look,
is Mr. Toast?
There's Dan as a youth.
Yeah,
what is he carrying?
Carrying comic books,
carrying some comics.
Dan Cobain.
Might be a Marvel Team Up 17. I think.
What a cool looking kid, man. That's a SoCal kid.
Frickin' nerd.
And then the Art Plus. They're both APs.
Yeah,
that's your rookie card.
That's your rookie
that is
card.
my rookie card.
Very
Dope,
cool.
Dude.
I don't know where it is, but it's right there. But one of the things I got from Simeon is
something.
No, it's okay. I have a complete set of Series 1 of all the base cards and all the signed cards.
Oh, that's nice.
Are you Series 1?
I think I'm Series 2.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have Series 2, but yeah, Series 1 I have the full one.
Yeah, I think they gave
Toast.
I don't know how you tell if it's Series 1 or Series 2.
Oh, those are two different cards?
I think that might be Series 1. Unless
2010, I don't know.
That's Series 1, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're in Series 1.
Series
I'm in
1.
Series 1 too.
Oh, you are?
As Twerps.
Also, Series 1 also.
As Twerps. That's my little name that I came up with for my characters.
I thought you had to say it 3 times. It's Twerps.
No, well, that's all that was available on for Instagram. So on Instagram, I'm Twerps because somebody else had Twerps. So
yeah, they gave us a full set.
Yeah, they gave us a full set, but
which I did an auction for somehow. How did I do that? I don't remember.
Yeah, the coolest card in my opinion in the first set, well, besides yours and mine, is the Ram LZ card. Do you know Ram LZ? So Ram LZ, they kind of tried to pitch him. Huh?
He the man.
Yeah, they kind of tried to pitch him. I mean, he kind of is. He's kind of like the real Basquiat in the sense that he was a Lower East Side East Village artist, but he was actually kind of just it was very much like a performance artist. He created these crazy costumes and these assemblages and collages and stuff. And I'm not even giving him
Sure. You got to see the work.
You got to see the work. But also too, it was interesting because when Simeon was telling me when he went to go meet him to get the card signed, he went into his space, and the thing about Ram LZ is that he never sold any of his stuff.
So he never sold any of the art?
He never sold any of the art.
Wow.
When he and I've heard this before, but when he came in, Simeon said, oh, these are all my children. He's very attached to everything that he made. But the Art Hustle, he passed away pretty soon after that.
Oh, shit.
So that's his rookie card, the last card, but he also signed some, and he also did some art cards. So if you can find those, they're actually, they're pretty
rare.
Well, they're just, they're pretty rare. But plus, also a lot of the people in Series 1, are no longer with us. So
because we did art cards for those. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I think we did 6 or 8 or whatever. And one of those, I made a lottery card. So if you got that card, you got my free set.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So somebody did that.
I love that he did. I mean, that set.
It's a fun set.
It's a fun set. And the cool thing now, is because of Gas, we were able to get, even closer to a lot of the grading companies and stuff. So, he over time has been able to get PSA to grade them.
Oh, nice.
Which is, it's just cool because it's, it is what it is. Regardless of what you feel about, grading, slabbing, whatever. I mean, it's still, I don't know. It's still cool to be like, yeah, I graded my own rookie card, Yeah. So that's cool. What else did you bring? Let's see.
You'll like this.
Let me see.
You'll wish it was a better photo, but you'll like it.
Okay. It is. Wait. Oh my God. I can't even really. Let's see.
Is it a bomb?
It's
No.
It's
somebody's.
Oh my gosh, it's a stash box.
Is this like a stash box?
That is somebody's stash box. And then it has there's
So
odd
for-
rods.
so
There's
for the-
odd rod stickers. So
Yeah, so
that
for
means
those
it's
who are
probably
not
early
watching-
70s.
Yeah, it's an early 70s white border photo.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's somebody's stash box with what are the things on the what are the stickers?
They're odd rods.
Oh, odd rods.
It's a Donruss set from.
Yeah.
They didn't know a few different times. You could probably figure out which ones it is.
Wow.
But I
That's
was like,
incredible.
oh, that's a Greg special. That's
That is
not
incredible.
something I would collect typically.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I'm gonna make one of those with my
That's so
gas
cool.
cards in my box.
And I brought what is the other? I brought some other. Where'd that stupid thing go? This one's funny. Let me. See.
Oh my God, this is awesome.
That's
So yeah, so this is like they would make a lot of like times the horror movies you would see they would make like barf bags, little gimmicks. So this one says I'll kind of show it, but it's a little
Upchuck
it's one of those like paper cup. It says up chuck cup. Keep it handy. It may be required on short notice during the showing of I Dismember Mama and Blood Splattered Bride. Not for the sounds like a Tarantino. Not for the squeamish or faint of heart. Here or theater near you soon. Dude, this is
it's awesome.
This is incredible.
If you're gonna spew into this.
I don't know how much you can fit in that. But
but that's just
That's
like in Wayne's
incredible.
World, because he gave him a little cup too in Wayne's World. It's the same thing.
oh, did he?
Yeah. He's like, if you're gonna spew into this, it's like this little cup.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
But this one I put on Instagram, and it got 800,000 views.
800,000?
800,000.
Now,
And I get on a good thing, I'll get maybe a few thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then, it's like one of those ones where you're like, it goes, boop, 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 just keeps going up
Wow.
and keeps.
Now,
keeps
do you think
being
it's
viral.
do you think it's maybe because somebody
No.
like reposted it or something?
the
It's
algorithm.
just the algorithm.
The algorithm makes decisions at times, and sometimes your thing that's random. It's like
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put it up there, and it's going to have maybe 500 likes or 200,
show-
whatever.
Can you open up this drawer real quick?
No.
I want to see if I can get something out.
And that's the world we live in now, where it's like we have no true control over what's cool and what happens.
Just so like we can go
Trying to
cool.
run
Just
a
so we can go.
podcast here.
Just so we can go cool for cool.
Just
I don't know if
got
I've ever showed this.
2.5 million.
So this is one of those. I mean, I'm sure Dan is familiar with these. Like when they would advertise something, they would kind of make these like
money?
fake bills. So you would fold it in half, and then you would think you found a $10 bill, but actually.
Oh, we gotta make Funshop advertisements
nice.
like
So it's
that.
the same thing. It's a
Similar thing.
It's a movie
So,
promo.
Yeah, so it's a movie promo
Oh, yeah, that's
for
cool.
Beast of Blood, which is like pretty incredible. And this
I'm
one
gonna
is
steal that.
actually coming to Sarasota, Florida, which is I never spent that. Actually, that's where the Circus Museum is.
I'm gonna
in
steal that, and
Sarasota.
you fold it in half to pretend it's a $10 bill, or you could roll it up.
That's true. That's true.
So that's what that's what I love at this point in my career.
Yeah,
is just finding the stuff that you're like, there's not 100 of these out there. There's not 1,000 of these out there. There's maybe 10 of them out there. Maybe one of them.
I mean, that's exactly. Honestly, that's where I am. I mean, if you say like, if I actually say it's funny because if I say I collect stuff, it's hard to explain to people what I collect because that's the kind of shit I collect. Because there is a market, but it's, how do you price it? What's the value? It's like, even if this thing's worth $100, like I'd rather have it than $100.
Yeah.
Right. So you're in a, some of this stuff, you're in like a weird situation where it's just like, it's not about the monetary value. It's just the fact that it's, in my case, it's like, well, it's probably the only one that exists.
Yeah.
And I found it. And it's not necessarily like, I'm like, oh yeah, I found it. It's more like, oh, I just can share it with everyone.
This is one other thing I wanted to share.
Okay.
At PCC, walking around, here's like a whole bin full of photos, and I'm sort of digging it there. It's like teen girl stuff. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. But there were 2 diaries, and then there was a book of letters from from the girl's friends to her
and Frank.
And, it's got the stuff on it, and it's like dated March 7th, 1995. So you're like, oh, maybe they're going to talk about movies. Maybe they're going to talk about the stuff I care about.
Right.
Bring it. Can't wait.
Yeah. So
page 1, we get halfway down page 1. What does she say? I've been really discouraged about my weight lately, so I have or thought I had a resolution. That resolution is throwing up my food. This is her entire diary of being
bulimic.
And you're just like, what the you're and she's so frightfully frank about it. It's not, there's no drama involved in it, and she like logs her food, and she talks about the rest of her life too. And there's like there's other other dark things that happen in here too. She ends up like living with this guy, and this guy like goes out on
this is weird. She's like, I don't know what the context, but she says, P.S. We did something else too. We had some wine coolers out of her with her parents. Wish my parents had those in the house. Yeah, that's odd. Yeah,
it's you don't know what to do. When you're confronted by this person's whole a whole chapter of their life.
Yeah,
and it just ends up at the flea market.
Yeah, I love this kind of stuff because it's like it's personal. It tells a story that obviously no one ever probably thought their diary would end up at the flea market.
No,
and that anyone would even care. But I think that goes back to sort of what we do is like I think we care to. I don't know. I'm trying to articulate it in a way.
Well, we're kind of archaeologists. Of stuff, and then we have to sort of think about how we want to look at it and what we want to present to the world and how we want to present it.
Yeah.
With the stuff that we're sort of personally curating constantly.
Yeah, that's why I'm like I've been wanting to get more into, self-publishing some of my collection because it's one of those things like everyone's like, oh, you should have a book. And I'm like, but then recently I'm like, because like, for instance, I don't know about with the crazy kids, but like I know with when I made my book about the Mr. T collectibles, like once I made the book, I was kind of like, all right, I think I'm ready to start selling some stuff now.
Sure.
Because it all, I was looking at my book. I got to get you a copy next time I see you. I'll give you one. But, I was looking at it like last night just because I was like, I don't know, I want to look at my book. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm like, I don't have this stuff anymore, but I was like, I don't need it. It's like, I'm like Pee-wee, I don't need to watch the movie. I lived it, type shit. I'm just like, it's cool. Like I did it. I have one little like, display of Mr. T stuff. I kept some of my, my bootleg things just because they're just so bizarre and weird, But other than that, I don't. And the other funny thing with Mr. T, which was, I also thought at some point I would complete it.
Sure.
And I think in the 80s they just started. I mean, it started in the 70s, but I think the 80s especially, they really started licensing out. Just like, Mr. T whistle, Mr. T bubbles, Mr. T like jump rope, is like anything they could put his face on to sell.
It's like it ends up as rack toys in 7-Eleven. It's like, then it just becomes nothing. But I mean, it's still interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because they, but yeah, no, it is interesting because like, you think about that, like you just wanted someone to see Mr. T and like, you're like, you don't need a paddle ball. No, I need a Mr. T paddle ball though.
Yeah, and then when you freeze it in time in a book, it's like my book. My buddy Jason, he ran across that book, and he was like, he worked at Marvel Comics, and he fell in love with the book, and then he started collecting, and now he does TV shows where he appears and talks about the stuff. He does like the Food That Made America.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah. He's on all those shows.
Yeah,
and it's like
those
great.
shows.
It's because I did some of that stuff, way back when, on the just like little bits. But now he's sort of made that his career.
That's
and you're
cool.
like, that's so cool. It's like I don't want to do those TV shows. I have no interest in that.
Yeah.
But he loves it, and he can research it and share the stories and keep moving that information that I was a part of.
Yeah, well, that's part. I think that's part of the impetus of the podcast too. Is like I think maybe there was a point where I thought, oh, it'd be cool to have a reality show or do this or do that, and I'm just like, now I'm like, I love, I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be, but I do like talking about collectibles, and I do like trying to like learn and like teach people, and so for me, I think that's an important part of, if you can get to that, if you are able to have an outlet, I think it's cool. Especially like, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of the content too is like, we talked about this a little bit, or we might have, but it's like every time it's like I see something about collectibles now, it's like, it's always just about like how much money it sold for, or like, oh, I found, or like, hey, you should be looking out for this stuff because you can make a lot of money off of it.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. It's like you watch the storage ones, and I watch them. Yeah. I love them. I love watching the storage ones. But at a certain point, you're just like, they always depress me, because you're just like, how are you going to get rid of all this fucking garbage? And it's garbage.
The rhodium.
Exactly. Go down to the rhodium. And I think that's what we kind of get to do. That's much more fun, is get to curate it.
Yeah.
And get to make a lot of discrete decisions that are very based on what we find interesting. It's like, I look around this room and I'm like, this is okay. I understand who you are.
Yeah.
You look at my book.
I'm a psychopath.
Yeah, Ronnie knows. Ronnie sat next to you too long. He's like, this guy, let me tell you about this guy. I can tell you about this guy.
But no, it's true, because it's, I don't know. I mean, I think it's also like we, even though you're a little older than me, I mean, I think we're still, we're both still in the generation that where, pop culture, TV, movies, packaging, all that stuff really influenced us as kids into adulthood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the 70s and 80s kids are not that much different.
No.
There's it's maybe it's a different pool of stuff, but it's still the merchandising and the way that was marketed was still pretty much the same. Yeah. It's completely changed now. And
of course.
And we have
totally
no idea
different.
what these kids are going to be like when it comes time.
No.
The kids that grew up on Minecraft.
Soft.
Maybe they're a weak bunch of kids.
Yeah, I mean, I've never, actually, I did like the Minecraft movie.
Oh yeah, it's good.
It was like, I mean, Jack Black's awesome, but that was like a really fun. I mean, that was a good case where it's like you don't really need to know what it's about for it to be funny.
At that movie, like
what?
You saw it in the theater?
No,
okay.
no,
Jesus
I saw it like on TV.
Like, dude, you wound up at that? Okay,
I will.
I get it.
I will say the most uncomfortable I was in a theater once was like I got really into Harry Potter. Like when it came out, I liked the movies, and then I read the books, and so it was like when the new movie was coming out, it was like I actually wanted to be like the first day, and my wife and I were supposed to go, and then she canceled, so I'm just sitting there, and there's literally all kids and parents around me, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna look, it's like
I'm not looking around.
Yeah, because it's like you feel uncomfortable, but that's like, you get it, but no, I didn't see it in the theater.
Okay.
But
no,
I
just
did. But I will say, and I think I've said this before, when like the chicken jockey part, I like jumped up. I was like, chicken jockey, because that's what all the kids did in the theater, and I don't know. I was trying to have fun in my living room.
You put on your little suit when you went and saw what was it, Oppenheimer? You did that thing like that too. You did Barbenheimer, and you.
Oh, but I didn't do I need to go to the. Ronnie goes to the theaters a lot, and I wish I need to go more. I'm kind of slacking. You go a lot.
Yeah, I got that Regal pass so I can see the Screen X movies. But man, I went did Mandalorian, and you can skip that.
Yeah, you said it wasn't that good.
I'm not 10.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Grogu is definitely for the kids, right?
It wasn't even. I'm not even going to. It wasn't even that part that bothered me.
It was Pedro Pascal was too soft.
I mean, I don't want to give spoilers, but there's like Jabba the Hutt's son or grandson's in it, and he like speaks English and stuff.
So wait, who played his? Wasn't it like Timothy Chalamet or something?
I don't know.
It's the bear guy.
Jeremy. Yeah, okay,
he does
that's
the voice.
right.
So it's like this buff Jabba. It's a buff Hutt, and he speaks English. I'll tell you the best part. is Martin Scorsese does the voice of one of the aliens, and to me, it's like I saw it with my dad. I'm like, dude, that's Martin Scorsese, because you could totally tell, like, when he talks. That was my favorite part.
That's pretty cool.
That's why I said I'm not 10. You know, the movie's not made for 10-year-old,
50-year-old.
Oh man, 50-year-olds. Yeah.
I mean, if they the problem is, if they were making a movie, it is a movie for 10-year-olds, and that's not a movie they should be making for 10-year-olds, because they're not marketing it for 10-year-olds, and they're not marketing it as a movie for 10-year-olds. And I think that's the issue, is that they don't know what their audience is anymore, and we sort of lost that. You know, and that's why people love the 80s, is because a lot of those movies were kind of meant to be, you know, to hit kids and teenagers and post-teens.
Right.
I'm 50, so I would have loved to have seen them take Mandalorian, make it the first like rated R Star Wars movie.
Exactly.
Ooh, that would have been cold-blooded.
Has there never been an R Star Wars movie yet? No.
You think about a movie like Die Hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
I think about that movie.
Let's do it
a
all
lot.
day. Yeah.
It's it is a perfect movie.
Yes, sir.
Because it can hit. It's not too violent, but it is violent. It's not too adult. It's not, it just hits such a wide range, and Star Wars in some ways has sort of lost that understanding.
No, it's tough because, I was always, and still am, I guess, a big, I loved horror movies, and then actually it was like, the CVS around the corner became like a Spirit Halloween. And they had this girl dressed up as like a clown. And I'm thinking, like, I've never seen this clown. And it was like this little black girl dressed up as like Art the Clown from Terrifier. And I don't know if you've seen any of those movies.
No, I've not.
Oh, dude. Like, that's a whole new level of like gore.
Sure.
That's like, it's like makes me a little scared for the future, because I mean, those movies are so like, they just push the envelope of like, like the whole point of the clown is to like, he tortures these victims to the point, in some point, where like they literally have no skin, but they're still alive. And so that's like the whole point, is like, how far can this clown go to basically like, just disfigure or terrorize, but the person is alive the whole time.
So that's the whole premise is, what kind of makeup can we create that you might be still convinced that the person is living?
I don't even want to say what happened in Terrifier 3. Like, when I saw it, I'd never seen it before in my life, and it was the most horrible thing. I don't even want to repeat it.
Yeah, if any of our listeners can comment and tell us.
Dude, I don't even want to say it was the worst. It was literally the worst thing I've ever seen in a movie. It was horrible.
All right.
Yeah. But I mean, they thought that we as children were getting desensitized by Friday the 13th and all that stuff, and
right, that's true.
Yeah, I don't. So. It's hard.
Even though I did hear something the other day. I don't know where it was. It was just in a clip of something, but supposedly, the average age now that a kid will see hardcore pornography is 8 years old.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy, because I mean, I don't think I even saw porn until I was like in high school.
Sure.
And it was just I mean, I'll always remember it, because it was like, my friends who were seniors, they invited me over, and it was like, oh, we're going to put on this movie. And it was literally, the scene was like this guy who was in like a hospital, and his entire body was in a cast except for his dick.
Oh.
I think we're beginning to figure out what's going on with you.
Yeah.
That's where your sexuality began,
right.
And it never moved past.
Yeah, it never moved past that. Mummy sex. So, anyways, yeah. But yeah, man.
I'll save my first one for the next episode.
The next episode. Yeah.
The next podcast.
Yeah. I actually, though, recently it was funny, because I remember when I was in middle school, or maybe in elementary, no, it was probably middle school. My friend had said that he had found his dad's porn stash, and he had told me that there was a VHS that he had that was called Rambo O. And for years, it was just this thing in my mind. And then recently, I actually found a copy at the flea market, and I had to buy it. And I told the guy the story, and I was just like, it was like $5 or something. But I was like, yeah, I kind of have to have this, because in my mind, it was this imaginary thing that my friend had told me about in middle school, and it was actually real. I mean, I don't know why I would have ever doubted it, but
Yeah, well, it's a mythical object.
So it's like a mythical object that,
and it's like there's like this one clip of a movie that I have in my head, and it's this woman going across like a lake or something, and then she gets swallowed up by a plant. And I have spent my entire life looking for that movie or that scene, and I'm sure that my brain I saw something different, and my brain has changed it to that.
Yeah.
And that and so I'm basically thinking a thing exists that doesn't exist,
right?
And trying to find it.
I think those are you've probably seen them around, but those are like some of the funny kind of like memes where someone will post a photo with somebody and they're like, "I thought I met Stone Cold Steve Austin. Who the heck is this?"
The people at the gas station I met this person.
I met this person.
People look at the video and they're like, "That is not who you were talking to. You did not meet that celebrity. That was a person that was just playing along with your illusion."
I did know when I was a kid though. I went to Burger King because I thought I was going to meet Alf, and the guy who was Alf was like, he was so tall that like the thing didn't go all the way down so you could like see his neck.
That's when the illusion all fell apart.
That's not the real Alf.
I can see human skin.
It was such a letdown.
I still have my autographed picture of Darth Vader that I got when I was a kid.
Ooh, nice. You know what I do have, which is actually kind of crazy. So, I said I grew up in Central Florida and we had these stores called Winn-Dixie.
Oh, sure.
You know that? Yeah. So I remember one time, I don't know how we saw it, but they were like, "Come meet Spider-Man at Winn-Dixie."
Oh, yeah.
And so we were like, okay. And I was like there and I met Spider-Man. There's this guy and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he's like, "You want me to sign your comic?" And I'm like, "I don't know who you are." He's like, "I'm Stan Lee."
Oh, Stan Lee was there?
He was there like
nice.
at Winn-Dixie, and I still have, and that was the era where they were doing the like hologram covers. It was like midnight, maybe it was like early 90s or something.
Oh, wow. So that was...
And it was a while back, but I remember I still have it. It's like it's a Spider-Man with like, it's like a red cover and then it has like a hologram on it and he signed it.
Oh, that's great.
And so that's kind of cool. Yeah, I never got it like, I probably won't ever get it like slabbed or anything because it's like, I don't care. Like, it's just cool to have,
That's a great signature.
So
I remember I saw him, he was at the Barnes & Noble at the Grove.
Oh,
and he was doing an event there, and that was maybe like a year before he passed. And so I got to see Stan right there at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, so much. Oh God, the comic book hate against Stan on Facebook. Oh my God, these guys hate him.
Do they still hate him?
All the old school guys hate him because he screwed Kirby.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's like this toxic pit of people. When you get to a certain group of people that are just like so hateful about a thing, and you're just like, let it go.
Yeah.
Stan's gone. Jack's gone. Hate Marvel Comics because, they're the ones that are screwing over, Kirby's estate now or whatever. I don't even know if they are.
But it seems like a familiar story with everything that blows up, right? There's somebody making, that's talented doing the thing and then somebody else that discovers the talent that blows them up, It seems like it happens everywhere.
I mean, Stan was the person that was exploiting the situation. He wrote the books and wrote an amount of the books, and that's the people always want to argue about who did exactly what,
right?
And you're like, without Stan and Jack, the shit doesn't happen.
It doesn't matter.
So it doesn't matter.
That's the thing is like you can't like. I look at my brand with Mishka. It's like my old partner Mikhail. Like we grew apart and we had a lot of differences, but Mishka would have never been what it was if he just did it or I just did it. And so even now it's like kind of a struggle because I'm like, well, I mean, now we've created a whole environment, so it's different. But, the beginnings in the early part of Mishka, like it never would have became what it was if it wasn't for me being the sort of outgoing person that was willing to go out and party and meet people and connect where, my partner was like, he'd rather just like be home, like reading comics, listening to music, drawing, he was just very that person. And it was a good, it was like kind of a good match in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And you get that good match and you work it as long as you can. And then if it becomes an ungood match, then, just let it go. But that's the issue with fans is they want to have such a level of ownership of things, of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
that they just want to keep relitigating things forever.
Yeah.
And that would be hard to sort of live in that world.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Well, that's an hour. That was a fast hour.
Yeah, that's a quick hour. Yeah, lots of information from Mr. Toast.
I guess before we Mr. Toast, before we're done with Mr. Toast, so where can people find you?
I'll be at PCC in the parking structure on the. Do you call it the first level or the second? Whatever the bottom level.
The bottom level is level 2,
yeah,
and then level 3, yeah. So yeah, for anyone going, PCC is still my favorite flea market.
It's fun.
It's fun. Half of it's indoors, half of it's outside. It's good. I mean, I don't want any competition, but. Whatever, it's the one thing the one little here's a little thing that I learned was, I would always go to PCC and then I would leave at I'd be gone by 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then as I started dealing there, I realized after 9 or 10 o'clock, most people that are there don't really, they're just kind of there to sort of hang out and look around. I mean, there's some collectors, but I guess point being is that, sometimes it takes a while for people to set up. So I actually stay there longer because...
Well, they do a whole lottery at 7.
Right,
where they lotterize, I don't know how many spaces. Not that there's a lot of great stuff that comes in at that point.
But I've found stuff later on that I can't believe is still there. But then but as I'm dealing, I'm like, okay, I can believe it's still there because I know I have good stuff that potentially people, for a good price that... if the right person was looking, and more so than not, the right person isn't there.
Yeah. No, because I set up last month and I just shut down at 1:30.
Yeah.
Because I was by myself.
Right.
And then I just shopped for an hour and I spent $100 and it was $100 well spent.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's a great market. And we'll see you. You're going to be there? No, you don't go anymore.
I think that, this weekend I'm going to Albuquerque for Mabel's wedding.
Oh,
Congrats,
that's right.
Mabel.
Yeah, congratulations, our old. Yeah, and I was gonna say here, put on the get the camera. I'm wearing one of the new
Angry
Youth
Comics.
Comic shirts.
Shout out Johnny Ryan.
Available at Johnny Ryan's website.
Even if you're not angry and you're not young, you can still buy this. And even if you don't read comics,
I'm gonna cut out the youth. And just say angry. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna say angry.
Angry.
Yeah.
Angry.
Yeah.
Well,
Hangry,
Dan, that was awesome. Thanks for hanging out. And I think we have to do a part 2 because I think there's a lot more we should talk about.
Yeah, we got to find out about Mr. Toast.
Yeah, we should talk more about Mr. Toast. And
sure.
I don't know. I will honestly say it's cool to see. No, it's exciting to see that you were in Art Hustle Series 1 because that means a lot. And it's also cool because I think artists generally are attracted to collecting. It's just something that's in us because it's inspiration, but it's curation, and I don't know. That's kind of what being an artist is, right?
Yeah, and I mean it is interesting. Nathan Cabrera?
Of course, yeah.
It's like Nathan and I were in a show together, one of the first art shows I was ever in with my Mr. Toast stuff, and then I didn't know him then.
Yeah.
And then, years later, I realized, he's like, we were in that show together. I was like, because he's friends with Mike and we were at Glendale set up, 15 years later or something. And I was like,
so cool.
Gosh, it's interesting because we all sort of exist on these parallel paths, not parallel, but they're parallel. And we intersect at certain points. And you're like, oh, you were there and you were there and you were there and I was there and I didn't even know you. Okay, what the hell? Small world.
Very small world.
Yeah.
Well, Burt Cobain, I will see you at Long Beach, and I will be apologizing.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks,
this has been episode 47.
Hit the like
comment,
button,
subscribe.
the bell, and leave some comments. Tell us what you think.
Peace.